On today's show, I am joined by the band known as Sweet Babylon. We discuss their upcoming album, their upcoming release party, and also discuss our favorite Marvel heroes, movies, and then spoil Avengers Infinity War. So join us on episode 1 of Geek Speak on Free Your Geek.
By the power of Grayskull, Autobots, roll out.
Torpid time! Go.
You have failed this city.
Winter is coming.
Star-Lord.
Finish him. Hadouken! Fatality.
And welcome to the Free Your Geek podcast. I am your host, Jay Free, and today we have a show that I'm putting together. It's audio only right now, but we're going to be calling this Geek Speak with Jay Free. And on the first edition of Geek Speak, I am very happy to have on a band by the name of Sweet Babylon. And gentlemen, please introduce yourselves.
Hey, this is Kyle.
Hey man, what's up? It's Izzy.
And this is Lenny.
And you may have seen our earlier show way back in the start of the podcast with Izzy. Izzy Livin' is what we called it, with Izzy and Liv. And now we have the entire band on because I wanted to have them on for a while. And it just happened to work out that they have a show coming up, and I'll let you guys plug that right now as well. So feel free to go ahead and plug that.
All right. Well, a show that we actually have coming up is going to be May 24th. At the News Cafe, but our big show that we'd like to talk about is our CD release party for our new album, New Beginnings. It's coming out June 30th, and we're very excited for people to hear our brand new music.
Where?
It's going to be at the Fet Music Lounge in Providence, Rhode Island.
Who else is going to be there?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Izzy. We're going to have the Sky Seekers, and we're also going to have Shore City open up for us, and it's going to be a grand old time.
Wow.
I know. Buy your tickets now. You can buy them online, or you can buy them through us. They're $12 in advance, and it's $15 at the door. And you should support your local music, shouldn't you?
Yes, they should.
Why are you laughing?
Because this is serious.
He's laughing because it's serious, Lenny.
Yes.
And I will say this, if you're looking to purchase tickets, go on to, if you're listening to this on Podbean or anywhere where you're downloading your pod, go to facebook.com for your geek. We will have the link there. We can also go to your website, I'm assuming.
Yes, facebook.com/sweetbabylon. Or if you want to get some more info, you can check us out on Instagram at sweet_Babylon_music. Or you can check us out on Twitter at sweet_Babylon.
So we're going to test you again at the end of the show. We're going to have you promote again.
I'm prepared for the quiz, man.
Good.
I set myself up.
Excellent. So I just want to, within the band, let's get to know you guys a little bit more. We're going to talk about the areas of geekery that you guys geek out about, but I want to just touch base. What are your positions within the band? We'll start with Lenny.
I play the drums.
He's the stick man.
Yes.
What else?
And vocals, I guess.
But what else do you do?
He gets naked on stage.
No, I'm pretty sure that's
He makes sure that we sound good and our music is where it's supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're our musical engineer, I guess. What should you call it? Yeah?
I don't know.
Okay.
There is a really cool video. Speaking of going back to your Instagram, I did see a video with you at Guitar Center. I think I saw this. That's correct,
You're
right?
trying out the drum set that you like.
Oh, yeah, the drum set.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I love that video.
I wish I could afford that drum set.
Well,
Guitar Center sponsor.
right now you might not be, but listen, once we promote this band, you guys blow up.
That's it.
Izzy, let's go to you. I mean, I know our listeners probably that are familiar with you remember you, but
Well, if they're familiar with me, then that's surprising to me. I play bass, I also sing in the band, and I do half of the booking of the band for our shows.
That's good.
And we'll go over to Kyle over here.
I play guitars, not well, but I play guitars, and I'm also the vocalist as well. And I do a lot of the computer stuff. I make album arts, I make posters, and I also help book.
He's the social guy.
I'm the social media guy.
And how would you guys describe the type of music you make? I mean, because I know we talked about Lenny perhaps getting naked on stage.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
The show coming up, though, isn't it an all-ages show?
Yeah.
Our
So
senior
we might have to watch that nudity level.
Yeah.
That's why they get the black bars.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, well...
There's no post-production line.
No, we
Oh,
don't.
it's not?
We don't have black bars. We do have post-it notes that we usually use, so it's okay.
One post-it note.
One post-it note. But yeah, we're very excited for this new album. We've been working very hard, and I would say the style that you're going to be hearing in this album is a little bit of mixture of ska, punk rock, and we're going to throw in a little surprise in there as well. We got some music that you wouldn't expect from us.
In
on this
classic Sweet Babylon fashion, we always dip into the other genres of waters.
Yes.
Every
And
album,
if you
just for
wanna-
fun.
You got to listen to it to understand what we're talking about. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Can you please explain the different genres of water for me?
The different genres of water? Well, there's water. There's smart water.
There's vitamin water.
There's vitamin
Yes,
water.
the joke's gone
Infused
far.
water.
See? There's distilled water.
Can you tell us about?
I got
the,
pages of this
how
stuff. I can keep
rust
going.
Can be differentiated through the years as well. Sorry, that's an inside joke, folks. I'm sorry.
But what the listeners should be taking away from this is the friendship that the three of you have with all these inside jokes. It's actually really cool because I love, I know of none. I've been hanging around tons of bands, since I was younger too. And some band members are just like, they only meet up for jam sessions and when their shows are, and then they do their separate. Like, this feels more like a brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
To me, I don't know if you guys want to speak a little bit.
It's definitely a family. I would say, we meet up every Thursday to do our practices. We tell our bosses to screw off because that's when the boys get together. But yeah, I would definitely say this is more of a family type deal with us. Even though we might get on each other's nerves, at the end of the day, we all love each other, and that's what.
Correction. Me and you get on Lenny's nerves more than anything. That's about it. He's like the dad in the situation, and we're just the annoying kids. He just puts up
So
with us.
we visit Dad for the day.
This is
Dad's
true.
day.
So Lenny would be the responsible one. Is that what you're trying to say?
He's something. This guy. He's something.
It's a very eloquent way to put it.
So let's take a step back before we talk about our geekery and whatnot. I want to kind of go into the formation of Sweet Babylon. How did it all start? Where did it start with? Let's talk about this. How did you each come to form this?
All right, if we're actually going to tell the honest truth of how the band started,
No, lie to him.
I'm going to lie to you.
Please.
It was we got signed in the contest. No, it actually was. I met our original drummer. His name was Brandon. I met him at a club called Club Hell in Providence. It's no longer in business, but it was Halloween night, and I was dressed up as Snooki, and he was dressed up as a clown. And I said, "Hey, I'm really into ska punk," and he's like, "Hey, I'm into ska punk too." So we started a ska punk band.
Because you could tell by the costumes that you were clearly into ska
Yes,
punk.
obviously. I had to mention I was dressed up as a woman on purpose because that's just.
Well,
that's
Yeah,
how
you
it is.
mentioned a lot of details just
Yeah.
so people know that it's real.
Yes,
You can't make it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, why would I lie about being dressed up as a woman?
For attention, I don't know.
Because I love it. But besides that, besides our original drummer and stuff like that, I've known Lenny for years. We were in a band previously in high school, and Izzy I knew through college and stuff like that. So after me and this original drummer started the band, we recruited Izzy, and then when the original drummer didn't really work out, of course I would call him a big pal, Big L Lenny Batista, and we formed the perfect little girl known as Sweet Babylon.
And she is a lovely, lovely little girl.
It's a creepy way to put it.
Which one? Which one's the creepy one out of that?
So yeah, there's no boundaries here on Free Your Geek.
I was making a Powerpuff Girls reference. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So speaking of either Powerpuff Girls or just general geekery, what do we really geek out about? I mean, obviously music is a passion in all three of your lives, but we also have that comic book connection that we were talking a little bit offline. So just kind of run me through, who, I don't know who wants to start, but just tell me, favorite. Let's start with favorite Marvel movie. Well, let's go there.
Ooh.
All right, who wants to go
You know
first?
what? See now, Lenny, you always have to nitpick everything. We'll let you go last.
All right.
Oh man, favorite Marvel movie. All right.
Like, you want an order, or do you want like just the top one?
Just your top one.
Top one.
Okay.
MCU or any Marvel affiliated movie.
Let's start. Okay, let's play some boundaries. Let's say MCU, and then we'll go out to, and then I'll open it up more to any Marvel logo movie.
Okay, so
That
MCU.
way, yeah. Let's start with there.
Okay. Do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite MCU movie, I could always repeat and keep watching nonstop, would have to be the original Iron Man. I love that movie from the beginning to end, and it's basically the start of the whole MCU. Like, you see Robert Downey Jr. come back after long hiatus, and he's amazing in that movie, and he really is Tony Stark to a lot of people. Like, I can't see anybody else play that character. And he's done an amazing job throughout the years, especially in Avengers Infinity War. So that's my top pick. If I had to pick just a Marvel-based movie, I was going to say Logan's kind of very close, right under Iron Man for me. I loved Logan a lot. I thought that was a great movie.
So now, of the two, if you had to pick one for the rest of your life, of those two movies,
I guess I'd have to go with Iron Man. It still holds up to me. Like, I could watch that nonstop on repeat.
excellent.
You, Mr. Starr?
MCU is tied for me between Thor 1 and Doctor Strange. I don't know, like, I like the ones that, like, if I get to watch something that I've read before, like anything with Thor, or some of the other MCU movies that I know about before going into the movie, I get like a little nitpicky, I guess, because I'm like, okay, that's not exactly right, this and that. But I love it when I go to watch something that I've never seen or not really like know of, like Doctor Strange. I really didn't know much about. I knew who he was, what he did, but like not really to that extent. And then it just like sold me from like the entire movie. It was just nonstop good. So those two from the MCU, it just tied. Marvel base property. Let's see. I will go with. I'm gonna go with the Punisher.
Which one? Because there was the Warzone.
Not the
and
Warzone. The first
Thomas
one.
Jane.
Thomas Jane. Yeah, with Kevin Nash and John Panette. Yeah, that one.
That was too sweet.
And the only thing that was weird about it was I couldn't take John Travolta seriously.
Oh, come on.
That's the only thing I couldn't do. Howard Saint was just he pulled it off, but it's still John Travolta at the end of the day. Like, that's all.
He did have one really good scene at the end. And again, I'm going to say spoilers, but we're going to spoil a lot of movies.
The movie was like 20 years old.
Yeah, I know, but still.
If you don't want to hear any spoilers whatsoever, just
Come
back.
You already heard the plug at the beginning. You know where to go buy tickets. You know where the show is going to happen. That's why I threw that up in the front. Now we're going to spoil stuff. I just love that scene where he gets shot at the end. Just that turnaround and the shot of him just like spinning around and doing that.
Yeah,
that was a perfectly shot, and I think it was like just perfectly acted. We're gonna go over to Lenny, but before we do that, I'm gonna put Liv. Not right now. We said Lenny was gonna go last. We let him think over it. Now I'm putting you on the spot. I want you. It doesn't have to be MCU and then Marvel property. Just your favorite Marvel movie. We'll get to you momentarily, but we gave Lenny enough time to think. So let's. He's the nitpicky one. So according to the rest of the members here of Sweet Babylon, but let's.
My number one.
What's
Spider-Man: Homecoming. That will always be my number one.
Even before you saw it?
No. After I watched it, like, I loved Michael Keaton as Vulture. I was incredibly excited to see Vulture on the big screen, finally. The only one I'm waiting on now is Scorpion and Kraven the Hunter to show up.
Doc Ock, bro. Mysterio, bro.
Mysterio is going to be like,
and Doc
Mysterio
Ock,
would
bro.
be pretty cool.
Come
But
on,
Doc
man.
Ock we've already seen
But
with Alfred Molina. But like Spider-Man: Homecoming was by far my favorite MCU movie. Marvel property?
Don't say Howard the Duck. I will smack you. I thought he was going to say Howard the Duck.
I was
to be honest
debating
with you.
saying Howard the Duck. No, but I do enjoy the Blade series. Blade was really good.
Yep, I agree with that too.
Took me a few years to watch it, but I ended up enjoying all three of them.
Even Trinity with Triple H with his
The game.
I didn't like that one as much, but I
Ryan
enjoyed
Reynolds
it.
and early Deadpool-ness.
But yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming, definitely my favorite Marvel movie.
I did want to say though that the Keaton reference you pointed out, and I've talked about this ad nauseum. I don't know if I ever talked about it on the show, but I love how he played Batman, the original Batman in the '89 movie. But then we fast forward to the Christopher Nolan Batmans, and we hear you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And we saw that Batman actually become the villain in the Spider. And I love the. It just happened to work out that way. But I was.
Did you see Birdman?
I did not see Birdman.
Watch
Highly
that.
recommend it.
He's parodying the fact that he used to be Batman, but he was Birdman, and it's very well done.
I'm going to have to check that out.
I mean, sometimes though it's better off that way if you see the heroes become villains. Like Michael B. Jordan did an amazing job as Killmonger in the new Black Panther movie, and
He did terrible as the Human Torch in Fantastic
I don't
Four.
think he did terrible as the Human Torch. I just think the writing and the chemistry between those characters was not there. At least not enough to make a movie about it.
The best person of that whole one was the Thing. That was the only one that I believed because he wasn't in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
Like they took time to make the Thing and like really get down to how he is.
But yeah, Michael B. Jordan definitely a better villain than hero.
Hey, Auntie.
I'm going to ask Izzy to turn the microphone over now to Liv. You didn't even have to say too much. Just you were on the last show too with Izzy, so I need to have you back on. At least say hi.
A little feature.
Yeah, just a little Easter egg, if you will. Marvel's famous for Easter eggs, so let's throw you in here. Any movie, you don't have to differentiate, but just which one did you just like? Oh my God, this is such a great movie for me to like enjoy thoroughly.
I think the one that, like Kyle said, that I can put on all the time and like be entertained was probably the first Guardians. I think that's the first one that like I went in not knowing anything, and I really enjoyed it, and I can watch it over and over again. But I think now my new favorite is Black Panther.
Very
I'm looking
cool.
at Lenny because he's very disappointed in me.
No, no. If that's your favorite, by all means. I just think people are putting it on this pedestal that's 200 stories in the air,
Right, and it really shouldn't be maybe 200 stories.
Yeah, like Marvel's getting into this rut of like having everybody in the movie have one-liners.
Here we go.
And it doesn't need to be that way.
Right.
I'm very interested in this. I like this. This is
He
gonna be some
doesn't
good
like that
discussion.
everybody is a comic relief.
Yeah, like it doesn't need to happen.
I never freeze.
What I will
No,
say,
like that wasn't even like comedic relief. That was just like, oh, don't freeze. No, it was don't freeze when you see her. I never freeze. All right.
But do you think
That's a cool guy move before you jump out of a plane. It's Shuri talking to Okoye. Did he freeze? Like an antelope in headlights. Like that's like I get it. The beginning of the movie. No, I understand it.
what I will say though is I love that Marvel is giving chances to characters that you wouldn't expect, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like going into it, I had no idea who they were, and I absolutely agree. Like underneath Iron Man, it is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it is one of the best movies. I mean, I would say everybody at this table, we have our first-gen characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when we go out to go see a new Marvel movie, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to say my character is Hulk, because I just have a lot of same personality traits as the Hulk. But in our second-gen...
More personality like Bruce Banner than the Hulk.
I'm just trying to hold it all back, you know. No, but our second-gen, like, I would say my second character would be Peter Quill. Like, you know, I definitely feel like I have that.
Wise ass doesn't stop talking. Yeah, sounds about
and
right.
I have that ego. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
But you know, Izzy has his two characters.
Yeah, I got Thor as my number one, and Doctor Strange, my newly found number two.
And then Lenny is.
Then Iron Man and Black Panther.
Even though he doesn't like Black Panther.
No,
He likes Black Panther the person.
The movie was fantastic. It just doesn't need to be everyone's favorite.
Right. But do you think all like the little quips of
That was good. I'm gonna
of the comedy? Do you think it's like?
I think sometimes it gets too much.
Yeah, but look at the whole movie on the whole. Like, yeah, there's a lot of close together like scenes of comedy like that. But then, do you think that the seriousness of the movies counteract that to where it evens out to where it's like, all right, it's a lot of funny right now, but then shit's gonna get real?
For Black Panther, yes.
I mean, look at we're not there yet, but
Infinity
look at
War.
but look at that.
To be continued on.
That's a little teaser. I will say this about Black Panther. I think it was an excellent movie. I think it was very timely when it was released, and that's why it's getting a lot of the critical praise. Not saying it's a bad movie at all. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it was very powerful for the time that we're living in now, and that's why so deservedly it's getting the praise that it's getting. But I just think that, the acting, the music, the score, everything was just the special effects, the storyline, it was so topical for this day and age right now in the time that we're living in. I think that's why it's absolutely amazing. And there's a meme out there, speaking of Black Panther, and kind of teasing to Infinity War. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it shows T'Challa 4 times. And it shows Steve Rogers, get this man a shield. Then it shows Thor, end of Dark World with the eye patch, get this man a hammer. Then it shows Bruce Banner, says, get this man some pants. And then it shows Peter Parker and says, get this man an uncle.
I'm actually surprised I have not seen that one yet.
I will find it and I'll send it your way. But
for the video of this, please put that meme at this point.
yeah, I'm gonna have to put together. So for those that are listening to the podcast version of this, I'm going to be putting this on YouTube as well. I'm going to be putting some different pictures on there as well. Once I find that meme, absolutely, I'm putting that on there. So we'll be having that on YouTube a little bit, and I want to have it going and running before your show at the end of when's your show again? Let's plug it one more time.
June 30th is going to be our album release party for our new album, New Beginnings. And it's got 2 of our buddy bands, Sky Seekers and Shore City, opening up for the night. And it's going to be what time?
What time is it?
I don't know.
Starts at 8 o'clock.
That's right.
8 o'clock. At where?
It's going to be at the FET Music Lounge in Providence, Rhode Island. So please make sure to get your tickets now. Don't wait till the last minute because the show might sell out.
And if it does, we will be the second band in history locally to sell that place out.
So let's do that, folks.
Let's do it.
And all right, so once we come back from break here, we're going to go into break with a Sweet Babylon song. When we come back from break, we're going to talk and we're going to spoil the crap out of Infinity War. So we'll be right back, guys. And this is Sweet Babylon, and this is what you can expect to hear at the show.
At the point where they meet, it's me and you, so happy, so true. Endless possibilities, what we can do. You're my loving lady, I love you even more. My heart is fiending for you, and you are the one I adore. This feeling of love, baby, please don't make it stop. Keep us together with the twist top. I write to you, you write to me. Since the beginning, letters of emotion lately never been felt before. My heart is melting for you, cause you are the one I adore. This feeling of love, baby, please don't make it stop. Keep us together with the twist top. Things are so bad. Things come up and they make you sad. I know I'll be so glad, cause I've got you on my back. You're my loving lady, I love you even more. My heart is fiending for you, and you are the one I adore. This feeling of love, baby, please don't make it stop. Keep us together with a twist top. You're my loving lady, I love you even more. My heart is fiending for you, cause you are the one I adore. Yeah, this feeling of love, baby, please don't make it stop. Together with the twist top.
And we are back on Free Your Geek, Geek Speak, Episode 1 with Sweet Babylon. And now we're going to spoil the hell out of Infinity War. So if you've listened up to this point, thank you. And now, in about 5 seconds, we're going to spoil the crap out of it. I'm going to let these guys talk and just give you their thoughts. So let's start. Who wants to start off with their thoughts?
Okay, all right.
Oh, here it goes. Here it is.
Hey, hold on. Let's spoil it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They all die.
No.
All right, so you have a movie called Infinity War, and you want the opening of the movie to convey the overall tone of the movie. And for the most part, they did a really good job with the distress signal from the ship and just seeing the massacre that was on that ship. And you have the Maw talking, saying that, oh, you're all being
Blessed by Thanos.
blessed by Thanos, yes.
Thanos.
And then, out of nowhere, Thor, with his head in a vice grip by Thanos, you talk too much. Like, that killed the mood for me, especially when the theater just erupted in laughter for no reason. Because they did it. For multiple times that didn't require...
Well, they weren't like laughing at the dead as
No,
Guardians. They were laughing at what Thor said.
Yeah. But, like,
You laugh too much?
the whole, like, Infinity War, you want it to be... Like, you want to feel a weight going into this movie. And starting off, I felt a weight, and then you talk too much. I'm like, all right, here we go, more jokes. And it just didn't feel as if it was going to be as heavy as I thought the movie was. And overall, I don't think it was as heavy as I thought it was going to be. I really wanted, like, death to mean something. And this is probably really early for me to spoil things, but we already put the spoiler warning. All the people that died, I wanted them to stay dead. And out of all the people that died, probably 2 are going to stay. Instead of all 9 or 10 that...
No.
Which two?
Prediction.
Prediction.
I think Loki's definitely dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Loki's definitely dead. Gamora, they keep... Like, I've been reading articles where they confirm that she's in the Soul Stone, and then I've also read articles where she's not in the Soul Stone. So I'm iffy about her, but being a staple in the Guardians universe, I'm iffy on whether she's coming back or not. Vision, I think he might be coming back. I don't know. I know in the comics they have a version of Vision without the stone where he's all monotone, but, like, I don't know. Like, I think Vision showing up for 2 movies and then just disappearing is kind of a waste of a really good character. 3 movies. But I think it's a waste of a character.
In all the Iron Man.
Exactly. But, like, Vision as a character himself.
3 movies.
Yeah, Civil War, Ultron, and this one.
Yeah.
By the way, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but,
Because he was born
Before
yesterday.
we dive in too deep, though, there was one thing that I really wanted to see, and we got to see it within the first minutes of the movie, and I was so happy to just see it. And then, but they did it just long enough where I was satisfied. Before we went to the theater, I said, I really want to see Hulk and Thanos really go at it. And I just want to see that interaction where I want to see what happens. And like I said, Hulk is my guy, and so is Peter Quill, but Hulk is my guy. And seeing him just go straight for him, like no fucks given at all, just go straight for him, and then, you know, have him throughout the rest of the movie, spoilers, but, you know, just retracting and not wanting to come back out. I was just like, I love that. I know, like, everybody wanted to see Hulk come back out, but I love that part of the movie where it's like, what's happening with him right now? Like, I want to see what's...
yeah, don't forget, he was also the Hulk for, 2 years?
Thor
Straight.
Yeah.
So 2 years straight.
So
he's going through his terrible 2s, and now he's just not throwing a tantrum. He doesn't want to come back out. So...
And I also like the callback to the first Avengers with Loki over there. And he's like, "Oh, we have a Hulk."
Yeah, I like that.
And I just thought that was there was a lot of foreshadowing in the movie. I'll talk about it again. Probably when you listen to this, our next live video episode, I think I'm going to discuss with my 2 co-hosts Infinity War, and we're going to spoil it from there. But I'll say it here first, even though we're recording this first. I loved the scenes with Tony Stark and Pepper, and they're talking about he wants to start a family, but he's got kind of like this son in Peter Parker, if you will.
Yes.
And just the ending of that hit me super hard. The Gamora scene, which you guys can spoil, I'll let you guys talk all about that, and that scene at the end with Peter Parker and Stark, like ripped me to shreds. Like it hurt. Like that was like the two biggest like moments for me. And then there's a surprise character that I did not expect at all that showed up, and I'll let you guys all spoil the crap out of that. I want you guys to all talk about what you like. But to your point, I think they were trying to find the voice of each character, because Thor Ragnarok is very divisive. People are like, oh my god, it's hilarious and great, and other people are like, this is not what Thor is about. I'm in the former. I loved it. I thought it was just an entertaining movie, and I like the voice that, because I always like Thor's another one of my favorites, just the fish out of water, like him being on Earth and not understanding how things work. I just love that whole story. So for him to be a little bit more like sarcastic now and kind of more earthy, if you will, I kind of like that as well. But yeah, all in all, I thought But all in all, I just it was just a great movie. What other areas of the movie? Let's talk about some of the high points for you guys.
High points. Okay. The introduction of the Iron Spider suit. That gave me nostalgia. I don't think that's the right word. Oh, it definitely gave me a hard on, but no, it was really interesting. Seeing how that came into play. I didn't know how they were going to introduce it. Like, I didn't know if it was just going to show up at Aunt May's house with the new suit and just give it to him, or like how that was going to work. But the way they introduced it, I thought it was a perfect way to do it. Also, another high point for me was probably that Wakanda fight scene. I think it was...
Did you like how it kind of mirrored Episode 1, Phantom Menace kind of fight scene? Same blue shields, same kind of deal.
Yeah, don't get me started.
It was like mirror image. It was kind of like, what am I watching right now?
Hey, Star Wars, can we copy your homework?
Yeah,
just change it up a little.
Yeah,
so
it's exactly what it was. It was the same Gungan fight and everything.
Yeah,
it's all under the Disney umbrella now.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, hey, we'll just recycle that. It's fine.
But yeah, like that Wakanda fight was extremely well choreographed, even though most of it was CGI. But
hats to you, computer people, who did that.
But I don't know, that first charge where all the Wakanda warriors are just rushing. Did they say what species they were?
What,
those aliens? It's not Chitauri.
No, they're dark souls, something like that, something like along that line. Because
whatever the six-legged dogs were.
What's his people?
Just the 5 of the Black Order.
The Black Order, yeah, but isn't that the Black Dogs or something like that? Like Dark Dogs?
But
the I Am Legend rejects there.
But where they're just rushing those aliens.
They were.
And then out of all of those warriors, just Captain America and Black Panther lead the pack. That was really cool.
That was also a callback to Winter Soldier when he was running around. What was the monument? I can't remember. And he kept saying on your left to Sam, and you just see him with that super soldier serum, just like pushing past everybody else.
But yeah, those were my 2 high points.
What were your high points, Izzy?
High points of the movie. Well, it's weird because like I was expecting a lot of giant battles like we got, and the things I was expecting were well delivered. I was more impressed with like the dimensions that we got to see, like especially with like Thanos, like. When you have the Mad Titan show emotion, like when he's like, he realized like he already knew what he had to do to get the Soul Stone. He already knew, and when he got there and was like, "All right, this is what you got," and Red Skull, like, what the hell? That was a big
high points right now because I want to get into the whole Red.
No,
Skull.
that is a high point because I'm like sitting like, all right, it's probably Mistress of Death. It's probably pretty cool. It's freaking Red Skull. I'm like, what the hell is
How
this?
How did he get that job? Like you see him explode at the end of you see him explode at the end of Captain America holding the Tesseract.
Yeah.
All right, he's dead. We're never gonna see him again. No, he gets
He uses the
transported
Space
to
Stone.
I don't know the name of the dimension, but where the soul
stone
gem
is,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
now he can levitate. So that's a new superpower. that
There's
he
a
has.
bunch of dimensions, Morty.
He's got no legs. That's what it is.
Yeah, but
He
like,
ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
like I just want to know, like, who gave him that Vormir? That's the planet Vormir. But I just want to know who gave him the job. Like, was there somebody else guarding the Soul Stone?
And then he got there. They're like, "Hey,
he
man!"
died with the Tesseract, so he inherited it, and like the other guy's free. Like,
But like to see the dimension of to like that's a big thing. Like with Red Skull, like how are you there? Why are you there?
yeah, like
They have no touch.
I really
My-
hope that gets like into the next one.
Yeah, well, I think my theory is once that the scene in Captain America, the first Avenger, happened, again, the Tesseract is the Space Stone. He can go in. Maybe he was brought all the way. It killed him, and he was brought to the beginning of time, or they explain that, and then that's how he became the Guardian. So, like, you know, he's been dead for however many years, and he hasn't aged. Obviously,
Yeah.
you know, like Steve Rogers was frozen. We understand that's why he wasn't aging. Red Skull not aging is because he's just, you know, this phantom or this spirit. He's a phantom menace. Bad joke. But no, I think my thought is when the fourth Avengers movie comes out, I think you're going to see a reversal. I think Captain America is dying, and I think Bucky's taking over, and they're going to find a way using the reality gem to bring Red Skull back as a protagonist for a Bucky Captain America.
I have a similar theory, but instead of Bucky taking up the mantle, I think they're going to keep him as White Wolf and bring in Sam Wilson as Cap, like in the current run of the comics.
I could get on board with that. I just don't know if the general populace would accept that type of, like, because at least with Bucky you have that kind of like they were brothers in arms all the way back, you know, and they were fighting way back when. So I don't know. I would love to see that because I would love to see the Falcon as Cap, but I think we're going to see some new, you know, I think the big three. We're going to be talking about DC in a little bit too. But we talk about the Trinity of DC. We also have the Trinity now of the MCU, and to me that's Thor, Iron Man, and Cap, and I think that's pretty consistent across the board. I think we're going to see 3 new actors. I think Black Panther's sister is going to be the new Iron Man unless they do something with Spidey.
Well, what I was going to say is I didn't really have like high points. I had things that I wanted to look forward to seeing, like especially when I saw the trailer. Like I wanted to see Iron Man interact with Peter Quill, and I got to see that interaction, and they were in the scene like for most of the time. But what I found funny was, I said this to Lenny, he said it didn't really make sense, but to me, like, it kind of makes a little bit of sense where you see first-gen characters, like, with second-type-gen characters that are kind of the same, like, Peter Quill and Iron Man are both, like, egotistical-type people, where, like, for me, like, he seems like they match very well. And then when you see Thor and Rocket Raccoon chilling out for most of the time, they're most of the battle-ready type people. And then obviously, I know Bucky's been there since first gen as well, but I'm saying like you see like them chilling out for most of the time together as well, where you see like just 2 people that are kind of the same working together in their specific scene time and everything like that. I thought that was pretty interesting to see, but
I don't see the Quill and the Iron Man. I don't see that. I see Iron Man and Strange like that because they're just as like into themselves, and Quill is like cocky, but he's not really into himself as much as like Tony Stark and Stephen Strange are. Those 2 are just right. Like that'd be it. Like yeah, but Peter Quill's like, yeah, I'm a Celestialite, but it's whatever. But those 2, yeah, those 2, they couldn't. That was the best banter. Them 2 trying to outwit each other the whole time.
But I just really enjoyed seeing the interaction between everybody because it. Like, I listened to Kevin Smith's podcast and stuff like that, and he said it the best, where he was like, it's like reading an annual at the end of the year. Like, you see all these comic book characters come together. Like, you felt out of this movie, it was like an actual comic book. Like, because when you write for a comic book, you can write whoever you want into your comic book, and you can just have those characters interact. But when you deal with a movie and you deal with copyrights and scripts and stuff like that, you don't really have that luxury. So when you got to actually see everybody interacting together, it was more of like a comic book movie where you were just like, wow, anything could happen with anybody at any time.
I was actually surprised with the chemistry between all the characters.
Yeah, me too. I was hoping for another Howard the Duck cameo,
God.
but
Because to have, what was it, 72 characters?
Yeah, something like that.
To have 72 characters all together and, like, it felt natural.
yeah, and equal time on screen. Like it didn't feel like, oh well, they had more time on screen, or like it was Thanos through most of them. Yeah. So, but I was gonna say everybody else, like they were all given equal opportunities.
And to me, that's a credit to the Russo brothers, because they also did Civil War, they also did Winter Soldier, and even with Civil War, when you're juggling that many heroes, even Scott Lang, Ant-Man, for the amount of time he was in the movie, he also had his moment to shine in Civil War. So I just really think that those guys understand how to give the adequate time to each character to give them a moment. Even if it's just a moment, they have a moment of importance within each specific character. For example, Bucky is another one. Like, he had his moment. He wasn't used a whole lot in the film until, like, Steve Rogers and the rest of his crew went to Wakanda. But that's, other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot. And then the battle, obviously. And I loved the scene with him and Rocket. Like, that kind of mirrored Groot and Rocket from the first Guardians. There was a lot of callbacks and a lot of homages to the different films, too, which I really, really liked. But what other big moments are we excited for?
Well, going back to what you were just saying, where everybody was given equal time, they mentioned Ant-Man too. Like it's not like no one didn't have their time. Like, where's Hawkeye? Oh, he's with his family. But the battles themselves were amazing. Like, but there's so much going on that you were just like to me, like the Wakanda battle was crazy. But my favorite portion of the movie was mostly when they're on Thanos's what
Titan.
Yeah. So when you see them heading to the planet, and then that's where they actually battle with Thanos, like that was the coolest part, where you see before Thanos even gets there, where they're all just scavenging, looking around, trying to find stuff, and then they meet up with the Guardians, and all of a sudden they have their interaction, and they're thinking like, they're working for Thanos, and they're all fighting against each other. I love that interaction where I was just like,
Why Gamora?
It literally reminds me of the first Avengers, where Thor was fighting Iron Man, and right away it's just like, and Captain, where you don't know what's going on. You're just like, oh, they must be a bad guy, so they all start fighting each other, and you love that because like while you're in the audience, you're just like, no, don't fight, like but you're just like, that's pretty cool that they're doing that.
And it's also a typical comic book trope where heroes, that first time they meet, they assess each other as a threat, and they might be a villain because they don't know of each other.
Yeah.
So it's all, it's always like, oh, we're going to fight until a bigger, badder threat comes along, and then we're like, oh, we're actually on the same side, so let's go back and fight this guy together. You brought up the why is Gamora line. One of my favorite lines, I know we talked about the joking, but with Drax being that character, I don't know if you guys know this, that's an improv line by Dave Bautista.
That one, the why?
That the why is Gamora was improv, because apparently, where is Gamora is said by Peter Quill, and then Iron Man retorts back. He goes, I'll do you one better. Who is Gamora? And they filmed that a couple of times, and then one time Dave Bautista just said, and he did the why is Gamora, and it was just to me that was that, and then there was one other line. The first time I didn't catch it because I went opening night, like a Thursday night, the first night it dropped.
We did too.
And it was just like the crowd was so into it. And I saw it again like a week and a half later, and the crowd didn't react the same way. And I'm like, okay, the diehards see it right away. And the line I missed is when Rocket, Groot, and Thor are leaving to go make a new weapon for Thor. Groot says something, and Thor responds to him, and Rocket says, "You know Groot?" And he goes, "Oh yes, language was an elective on Asgard." And it was just I didn't hear that line the first time, but I guess my buddy was telling me I don't know if you guys watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but when Sif was guest starring on that, she talked about how she learned alien languages on Asgard as well growing up, so they tied even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of into the movie. So
can I just say this? Peter Dinklage
as a giant midget. It was great. That was great. Why don't you talk about what you said? No, go ahead. Here you go.
Peter Dinklage.
Liv, what did you say?
Talk about what you said about Peter Dinklage.
It's just that I recognized him right away. I immediately was like, oh my god, it's Peter Dinklage. And Izzy thought I was being an asshole. He was just like, haha, that's a funny joke. And then he was like, it's fucking Peter Dinklage. And I was like,
just whined, oh my god, it is Peter Dinklage.
And I thought, there's nothing better that I, like, if it hadn't been Peter Dinklage, I would have thought it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I would have been like, who would have been great? Peter Dinklage.
I mean,
and they did it.
And the thing is, it's just like, it's so, out of nowhere. They're just like, we're gonna go see this person, and we're all like, all right, and you just
It's a space
like,
dwarf.
Yeah, but you just don't expect to be
Peter Dinklage as a
And
job.
I'm just like, yo, is he about to bust out Busta Rhymes right now?
I was waiting for him to show up because I knew he was in the movie. I just didn't know what he was playing.
I want to see if he's still like a dwarf like that. I want to see the normal sized people of his race. If he's
They're space dwarves.
I don't know if
they're all that size.
Yeah, but you know,
Oh,
I could dream.
That
How
was.
big do people get?
Yeah, how big do people get, Lenny? You've been to space, you know. Tell me.
I think
if he's not considered a
didn't
space
Thanos
giant,
kill all of his
he's called
people,
a
he
space
said?
dwarf. How big
I
do
think he
people
did.
get?
say that.
So you know, Thanos said he killed. Peter Dinklage says Thanos killed all of his people. So
He
won't-
made because he
Yeah.
made the gauntlet and all the rest of his people were slaughtered. So we'll never be able to figure that out unless we see. Like,
Peter Marvel, please. Peter Dinklage backstory, please.
Right. Well, I just love the fact that Liv was able to like notice him right away.
I didn't.
You know, and you didn't because you know what? She drinks and she knows things.
I was
That
was
first
so-
line where like who are you? Like I'm like that's fucking Tyrion Lannister. Like just the way he talked, it was just
That's-
just the way he spoke. It was straight out of Game of Thrones.
I just like it was one of those actors where you're just like, oh, cool, but it was just like, wait, Peter Dinklage is in another Marvel movie. Like he was first in X-Men, and now
Days of Future Past.
yeah, and now he's in this movie. And I'm just like, I love how Marvel.
I
like,
enjoyed him more in this
it's
one
like,
than I did
you're
in
not
that
working
one.
For
Just-
Warner Brothers or Sony, we'll get you on Disney. It's all good.
This
Well,
Iron
he was
Fists.
designing Sentinels in the X-Men movie, and now he's designing weaponry. He's always designing weaponry in the Marvel.
Well, because he's small, he can get into all the,
That's
right. the little sides and get everything. Oh, poor
We're gonna-
made up space.
I want to
dwarf.
segue into some DC talk before we get out of here and plug your stuff, but I do want to just kind of go a little bit roundhouse around the way here. Favorite character? I know we had our own favorite characters as we were talking about in the regular Marvel, the MCU, the Marvel movies. I want to just say favorite character and least favorite character in Infinity War.
Least favorite and best.
And I want to do a talking point right here. Who's the real villain of Infinity War? Because I'm going to say Peter Quill.
Yes. Fuck
No.
Peter.
No.
So I said this last night on Facebook, all right, and a lot of people are going back and forth on me, and I don't really care. I just really wanted to say it. If you could forgive Daryl for killing Glenn, you could forgive Peter Quill, because you know they're all coming back in the next movie.
Glenn's dead.
Glenn is dead. Spoilers.
Walking Dead.
But if you could forgive Daryl, goddamn,
what's
forget
Walking
Peter.
Dead?
Forgive
But,
Peter.
but the way I would rationalize that is, not to go into too much Walking Dead, it was Daryl's actions. He couldn't control how Negan reacted to that. Yes, he lashed out at Negan and Negan retaliated, but that was all Negan. Right. Daryl didn't expect that as the end result. They had Thanos right where they wanted him. They had him sleeping, and all he had to do was wait.
3 seconds.
No, see, here's the thing.
3 seconds.
Here's the thing. Peter Quill. I'm going to defend Peter Quill. I'm going to.
Because I want to argue with you.
I'm gonna defend Star-Lord. All right, Star-Lord
What's your feeling?
did exactly the correct. He is only half human, and that half human portion of him did the correct emotional response that you get when you're dealing with grief.
And-
when you
and-
overreact and you just act
And
and
I'll
you don't
continue
think
on that.
and you just
so,
go
right,
on
in
it.
Civil War, right? When Iron Man finds out that spoilers, that Winter Soldier kills his
We've
parents.
already had enough spoiler
All
warnings.
right,
I'm
so
pretty sure
he
we're
kills
good.
his parents.
Right, and he just lashes
He
out.
lashes out.
Exactly.
Like so, Iron Man.
But the
Like even
entire
Iron Man is the one that says,
universe
"Just hold on,
wasn't
we almost
on
got
the
the,
fucking
we almost have the glove off.
Oh, yeah?
Hold on." Like he says that.
Stark's
but the
entire
thing is, like,
universe was on
Stark
the line.
Can't
Yes.
speak for it because he lashed out when they were just like, "Dude, the
Irrationally.
guy's right here. We can catch this guy right now," and he wanted to fight, so he came out to fight.
Go ahead.
Ultimately, he did it is just to carry the plot
ahead.
over. That's all it is.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is,
Put yourself in the position.
well, then
I
Peter
am
Quill did it
going
for the
to
plot.
put myself-
Put yourself in that position.
Do it for the
If
bond.
somebody, if your dad threw you off a ledge,
Uh-huh.
and I found out, and I had your dad in the perfect spot, and I found out that he killed you,
Yeah.
I am telling you right now, dead in the eye, I will make sure that gauntlet gets off his fucking head.
That's easy for you to
Before
say
I
'cause
lose
it's
it.
not
I'm telling you
happening.
now. Okay, fine. Other way, if
Your
I
daddy.
die,
Uh-huh.
and Lenny's on top of my dad, having him asleep, and Kyle's pulling the gauntlet, and he
I'm gonna
tells
smack
you,
the shit out of John. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna do the same thing. Like it's the same
But I
right
would-
reaction.
I would be so pissed and so would Gamora.
No.
That is the most fucked up thing ever. He had to wait 2 seconds, and then he could have easily been the one to beat the shit out of Thanos, but he couldn't take control of.
It was
his
that. It was a
emotions.
mixture of
And
that
it
and
was
the.
most fucked up thing.
It was a mixture of that and the combination
you
of.
literally just shit on your entire relationship with her. Because
No,
you died
it
for
was
nothing.
a mixture of
Not
that.
Everyone is dead.
No, she died for the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, she literally, she died for you to have an opportunity, and
Nope.
then you just shit on everybody.
It was a combination of that and the fact that he was not answering him and making it more frustrating.
Fucking answer him. He's asleep.
I know, but he was like the fact that he wasn't answering as fast as Peter wanted was adding to the
human,
anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the weakness of humans. But I'm telling you right now, obviously this is never going to happen. If the entire universe is banking on you holding your patience for 3 seconds and you don't, oh my God, you better hope
then-
they don't bring me back because I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Windu comes out of nowhere. You got some, boy.
Oh, they don't bring me back.
Who's Windu?
Windu. Oh wait,
Yondu?
Yondu. Sorry,
Windu?
Mace Windu. Mace Windu comes out of nowhere.
That's
Yondu?
how it's gonna merge. So spoiler alert, at the end of the post-credit scene, Samuel L.
Yondu,
Jackson
Mace
turns to dust. He comes back as Mace
Mace
Windu,
Windu. Yep.
and he just
That's
takes
it.
care of it.
Kills
I
everybody.
just
He ends
spoiled
the line
Avengers
and
4.
says, "Fucker," and then he says-
Mary Poppins.
Motherfucker.
No, sorry, he'd say I'm Mary Poppins, motherfucker. Sorry. But
Can't say
going
that, it's a
back to
Disney
your
movie.
Question, favorite character, least favorite character. Out of the entire movie,
In this movie?
in this
Yeah,
movie,
just this movie.
Thanos' favorite, Star-Lord least favorite.
What did I just say?
Oh shit! Come back to me last. You
Good to you last.
Yeah.
Least favorite. I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna have to go with Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner is my least favorite. Least favorite. Because
I don't know, he had a pretty epic hero moment.
yeah, so everyone did.
No, not as the Hulk. Him himself.
Everybody did. Everybody had a moment in this movie.
No, but it was out of character for Bruce Banner to have a hero moment like that.
Nah,
and he
it's-
totally
It's not though.
kicked his ass.
Yeah, but it's just like
He
help
proves that he
help
is.
or don't help. Like don't like all right, I want to help. I can't help. Like help or don't help. Like everyone's life is on the line in this movie. Everyone knew going into every single whatever battle it was that moment they could die. Bruce included. Now the thing is with Bruce,
But Bruce also went into it thinking that, oh, I can just turn into the Hulk whenever I want. And now the Hulk's saying no. So now he's taking that responsibility on himself and not the Hulk.
but look how far it had to go for him to be like, all right, you know what? I'll do it myself. Like it couldn't.
He had to almost die, pretty much.
No, he was in the Hulkbuster and he got the arm ripped off. He was like, all right, I need you, buddy. He was like, no, I'm not helping you. He was like, all right, I'll do it myself. And then he did it himself. It took to that much pushing for him to get to that
But
point.
yeah, he would have died if he didn't take it upon himself.
It's lazy. I saw him as lazy.
right,
He was a casualty.
Who's your favorite?
Casualty.
Casualty.
Casualty my favorite. No, my favorite, I'm going to have to go the pairing of Vision and Scarlet Witch because they had the most to lose out of everything else. Thanos showed that he cared with the death of Gamora and all that, and kind of going full circle to when they first met and the hand holding, and then going back to the hand holding and then tossing her off a cliff. But like them two together had such a vital moment of. They had the most emotional struggle at the whole movie because from start to finish they were in constant danger and they were just trying to reassure. Like, all right, yeah, Gamora was like, if I gotta die, I want you to kill me, this and that. That was just a moment of okay, understand what I need you to do, but. The constant struggle of them two having like I need you to do this, I can't do this, I need you to do this, I can't do this. All right, I'm gonna do it, and then she does it, and then what happens? Time stone. That's it, and it's just like fuck, man. Like it was so close. That was the best pairing I got to say for my character.
I was gonna say my favorite. I was gonna say my characters for favorite are the pairing of Quill and Tony Stark. I just loved them together for that interaction. I know, like They have that people saying that Quill's responsible is fine. I just still I love.
Change my mind.
I'm not going to change my mind because the thing is, we all have the right to believe what we want to believe.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We're all Americans here.
You know what I believe in? I believe in that red, white, and blue, Lenny.
I told that teaching lady. The only thing I know is that red, white, and blue.
Well, what I was going to say is though, like I really can't see the movie without Peter Quill, because like the moment where he has the gun and
he could have shot.
He could have shot her, but like he had so much like
reservation.
you have the same feelings and everything like that.
He tried.
I also will say he's not. I'm not gonna say he's my top favorite, but I just love Drax throughout the entire fucking thing,
agreed.
especially just standing there with the chips. Like, I've been standing here for an hour. What? Like, what do you mean?
We were actually half expecting him to actually disappear when he was like, "If I stand perfectly still, I will disappear." I was like waiting for him to actually disappear, and then he just eats the chips.
That scene, like I noticed, like the because the inside of the Milano is usually gray.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they changed his hue a little bit on the body paint, but from like that dark green, but like it's more gray in this movie.
I was gonna say,
and like I kind of
it's been more gray since Volume 2.
Has it?
It was like a little greener in the first one, and the second one he was like a lot.
But like I closed my eyes a little bit, and like if you do it just right, you don't see him. And it's really it's kind of funny.
If I close both my eyes, I can't see him.
So
not
so
like
people that
close,
don't know what
close,
Lenny
but like-
looks like, his eyes are very squinty.
Your eyes aren't even open half
So
the
yeah,
time.
his eyes are not even open. But
like you can't see Drax. It's
Maybe
like,
you
So-
just can't
like,
see him.
My least favorite character, and I'm sad to say this, is Teenage Groot. I just don't like I like how he's acting as a teenager but everything like that. But to me, I'm just like, man, stop being a little fucking shit. Go back to normal Groot. Like I want to see you.
But it's not even the same Groot.
It's not the same Groot.
No.
I
That's
thought-
his son.
It's his son.
That's his son.
Yeah.
You want to hear something heartbreaking?
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
You know that part where he's about to turn to dust? He calls Rocket Dad. That's his last line before he turns to dust.
Gosh. I've changed my saddest death of the movie to that one now. Oh my god.
But no, my saddest death, Spider-Man, man. Like,
Yeah,
because
he
the
took it
thing
the
is,
worst.
like, I really felt like that's how I would go out. I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, I felt so bad, like, for Tony, like, cause like,
No, but here's the
like,
thing.
I'd be scared, like, if I was disappearing like that, like, I wouldn't be like, all right, see you in a minute, like, deuce, like,
Deuces and
Has anybody seen the somebody did this on Tumblr? They did a correlation between the MCU and the Harry Potter universe, how it was happening at the same time. So the Infinity Gauntlet struggle was happening at the same time as Deathly Hallows Part 2. That's why Harry Potter doesn't actually defeat Voldemort. It's Voldemort was one of the people that was affected by the Infinity Gauntlet being snapped. So that's why he dissipates the same way he does in the movie in Infinity Gauntlet.
God, just leave the fandom.
Oh man, but it made a lot of sense because the timing of everything, they pieced it out movie by movie, and the time frame actually does match up from what
Daniel
age.
Radcliffe comes out of nowhere, and goes, no.
Also, the only reason Spider-Man knew he was going was because
His
Spider Sense.
I don't feel good, Mr.
Spider Sense.
Spidey sense.
And then his regenerative abilities made it last longer.
And then
So he
Wolverine's
suffered.
it. Wolverine out of nowhere is like,
out
what
of
the fuck's
all of
happening?
them, he
just
suffered
keeps
the most.
Wolverine keeps disappearing and then coming back. He's like, what the fuck is happening?
So hey, well, let me pose this question to you:
What's happening?
If Wolverine dissipated, like in the movie, right? Would it just be like all his skin would dissipate, but then like it's just
Just keeps coming back.
no, it's just the adamantium, just like skeleton walking around. Like I guess I'm still alive.
Well,
His brain.
That'd be cool.
that's the thing. All right, now, if you haven't seen
Also,
Star Wars
Marvel,
Episode 8,
please let that happen.
Like,
Can we
if-
see Hugh Jackman?
like, all right, when Luke dissipates at the end,
Yeah.
like, he takes the metal arm with him, even though it's not actually his body.
Yeah.
He takes the metal arm with him, so I would
So-
assume.
wait, didn't you just yell at me for like with the fandoms? Like, and you're gonna try to defend it with a Star Wars thing?
No, I'm not defending it. I'm just
so
making.
Luke Skywalker
Why not the clothes?
was also affected by the gauntlet.
Why not the why not the clothes
That's why.
Yeah, the clothes should have stayed behind. No, the clothes did stay behind.
of the in Infinity Gauntlet?
Oh no.
No one's clothes. They're just ash.
No, I know.
The clothes still stood.
Oh, I don't know if you've
In Star
also
Wars,
seen,
they
like, this
it
new,
stayed, but they should
like photo
they
that's been
should've
going
stayed.
around. Somebody took a box that was a toy of Spider-Man, and they're like, "Man, this is a shitty toy. It's all dirt."
Yep. And then they also have the meme out there, like all the new Avengers toys, and they're all just different colors of dust. I'll show you guys that meme too. I think I gotta say my favorite was Doctor Strange. I think just because he kind of, this is like more than the movie of his own solo movie. This is more the Doctor Strange I'm accustomed to. But in that same vein, Wong to me was the least useful character. Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, hey, you know what? This time stone is gonna. There's Stephen Strange that he might have the time stone. I'm gonna go watch The Sanctum. Like,
No, yeah, I felt that too.
come on,
like
dude.
when he said that, he was like, "I'm gonna go watch The Sanctum," and I'm just like, what? Everybody's just standing around. He's like, I have to go watch it. And I'm just like, if they were to do a TV series for him, Lenny, I think that's what it would be like Jackie Chan's adventures, like, I have to protect the same.
It would just be him listening to like a beat, like headphones, and it would
Listening
just be
to
all
headphones.
pop music of him learning, and it would be hilarious.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Now, a lot of people are giving Peter Quill problems with what he did with Thanos, and then I've heard some things about how why did Steven just give up the Time Stone, this and that, while he was going in time and seeing everything happen. This was the one thing.
He said he saw like 14 million, 5 different, something like that.
There was one.
where
This
they
and this was the only way to do it.
Was that the one that he had to die and give up?
Right. So
Yeah,
I think he was
his plan.
I think he was the first one to
That's why I
know
was like,
that he was going to die. Like, I think he was obviously the first one to know, like, this is what's going to happen, and
Because
we're all
he
going
told
to.
Stark, before he goes, we're in Endgame now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew.
think
He
that's
already
what's
knew
gonna happen.
the phase that was going to happen.
But I just really
No. I was gonna say I really like that part as well, where you just see him like spazzing out, and all of a sudden, like, what are you doing? And like he tells him, like, I know what's gonna happen. Like, you kind of have to see. But then again, when we're talking about the sequel, like, I made this joke. I was like, leaving the watching that movie. At the end of the movie, I really wanted to die. Like, I really just wanted to die after seeing that. But I wanted to live to see the next one. And luckily, you only have it till next year. And I was just like, all right. So, I'm sorry. It was dark, but I was like... it gives me a
In
reason
reality,
to
we
live.
just went to Pub 99 and had dinner. That's all we did afterwards. No talk of death left your lips.
No, I told him this. I told Lenny that. But anyway, what I was going to say is, like, you know that they're going to come back. You know there's going to be a resolution somewhere to the point of, like, they're not going to...
It's obviously a part 2.
Yeah, there's always going to be part 2.
A 2-parter. I mean.
Then
But-
let me pose this question then. Obviously, the only way that was going to happen is the Time Stone, correct?
No.
Well, I have a question about the Time Stone then.
What?
Is there a lapse of time that can take place in order to use it? Because we've seen it used 3 times in the whole MCU, and each time we've seen it used, it was directly after something had happened.
Not true.
Very true.
Not true. Doctor Strange, when he brings the pages back, that was weeks after that happened.
No, that's regeneration though. That's not going.
He used the Time Stone to go back in time to bring the pages back.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah. You just agreed with me.
no, but that's something material. That's not like life, like
People.
bringing people back.
Okay, but when he did that, did people who had died during that week go back alive?
No, because he was only focusing on the pages.
Like, the apple is a living thing when he ate
Marty,
it,
you don't
and then
mess
he
with the time.
made it die
Yeah.
and come back. Okay, when
so obviously it
at-
works on life.
but that was directly after he bit it. Now and then at the end of Doctor Strange, when him and Wong kind of refix the Shanghai, this is Shanghai one,
China, whatever.
China one,
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong one, yeah. They fix it directly as they see, and they rescue these people's lives
Yes.
directly as it's happening. And then he uses it on himself when dealing with
Dormammu.
yeah, I almost said Yondu for some reason. And then he
Hey,
keeps
Papa,
using it on
go.
himself to regenerate himself. And then we see it use the moment that Scarlet Witch kills Vision to save the stone. Directly after. But that was with life. Is there a lapse of time that can be used for this on that scale? Because how is you supposed to use it on a galactic scale
Well, here's the
of
thing.
bringing back everybody?
Once you start messing with time, nothing is permanently written.
Right, but
Think of it that way.
But look at the Flash. Segue into DC for a little bit.
Well, I was going to say this is good because I was going to say the Infinity War movie still had the classic Marvel, the MCU humor, but it was very, very dark movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of dark movies, DC is taking the dark, more of the stance on darkness in their movies, a little less humor than the Marvel movies. And you were mentioning the Flash, so let's talk about time travel.
With the Flash and that, there's always repercussions to everything of going back in time and changing it up. Now,
But there's always a time where it doesn't take place like right away. Like, for instance, season 3, Flashpoint.
yeah,
It took a few weeks for him to start getting all the memories from that timeline.
Right.
So there's a time where it's not completely written as is.
But that was his own endeavor to go back and change it versus having something that can change it in this time and place without having to go back and fix anything.
And I just realized that we're talking about time travel, a completely fictional thing that anyone who writes about it could make their own parameters to it.
Right,
which
but there's still
means
laws.
No matter what.
There's still laws
as long as
to
you
it.
go 88
No,
miles
there
per
can't
hour,
be. If you can write
we
the
can do
parameters
it.
for it, that's writing the laws.
Look at anything that has to do with time travel in general. If you like, you've seen Back to the Future, the Treehouse of Horror with Homer Simpson with the toaster going back in time. There's laws to all of it. You can't just go back and do whatever you want without having some Futurama when they did a whole time parody thing. Yeah, there's that. Like, there's consequences to every time travel.
And I agree.
So there's rules. So you can't just do whatever you want.
No.
Even if you write it, there's still a baseline that you got to do to be like, all right, well, he's going to go and do this, but this is what the outcome would be. The consequence to his action.
What I will say is that Marvel did such a great job with making everybody think for themselves because you're not sure what they're gonna do next. Like we can talk for literally hours and hours about what they're gonna do next. Like I had an idea about them when they go back in time, they kill Gamora right away, so they can't throw her off the canyon or whatever the thing is. But what I'm saying is like that doesn't so some people are like that doesn't make sense because like the Guardians, that's fine. But what I'm saying is like it makes you think like, well, are they gonna kill Fusion right away, or are they going to kill Gamora right away? So
who the hell is Fusion?
No, but what I'm saying is like it makes you think like, how are they going to
That's
stop
what the
it
Vision's
from
going to be called.
Fusion?
Oh, sorry, shit.
I was like, who the hell is Fusion? Did we miss somebody?
I knew it was going on.
Sorry.
No, my thought real quick on that with the survivors were the original Avengers team and Rocket and War Machine
and Nebula.
So what I'm thinking is, I think that if there is going to be time travel, they're going to go back to the events of the first Avengers where they all come together, and they're going to replace their former selves on that team, and they'll be able to correct, with that knowledge of things that happened. Then you talk about Rhodey. Rhodey never hurts his legs in Civil War. All this other stuff. You can do the next phase if Chris Evans, Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., if they're all not going to be re-signing and their contracts are done and you're going to start with this next thing, it can reset the timeline to introduce these newer heroes into those roles.
Well, I'm just going to say this because it does make sense with set photos of Chris Evans in his Marvel Avengers 1 costume for Avengers 4.
All right.
They already have photos of him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they've already filmed it, I believe.
They're pretty much done filming.
Yeah, it's coming out next year.
May 4th.
May the Force be with you.
There you go.
But it's crazy to. No, it's really crazy to see like everybody's gonna drive themselves up a wall. Like everybody wants to see like what's gonna happen. Like, and Chris Evans is he's toying with people saying, "Oh, after 2019, I'm not playing Captain anymore." Like we knew this for years. Like that he as soon as he was gonna stop doing Captain, he was gonna stop doing movies. He said he wanted to be a director. He said that 5 years ago. And he's still been playing Captain. And you're just like, well, is he going to stop acting? Because he's been doing 1 or 2 movies.
He's on Broadway now.
Yeah, he's doing Broadway right now. And Tony, Robert Downey Jr. said he's done doing Iron Man movies. But in a recent interview, he's like, if they gave me Iron Man 4, I would do it. And I was just like, I would love to see that.
My thought is I'd like to see him as more the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. if they're not going to bring back Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Yeah. I'd like to see him as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Also, like we were talking before, I forgot, moving ahead with Iron Man and stuff like that. What if it was Harley, the kid from Iron Man 3?
That'd be cool.
I think they would have to recast. I think that would be cool, but I think they
few
would have to
years later.
recast the actor because I think it would have to be more of a name that people are either familiar with, their character they're already familiar with. I think it's a great idea, kind of bringing it forward, but I think you'd have to cast I don't want to say Zac Efron, but somebody a little bit younger that would fit that age range that has a little bit more name value, and that was just who popped off.
Tom Holland, no.
Speaking of, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna finish your thought because I was gonna say.
No, I was gonna go into DC at this point, but if you want to wrap up with
what
Marvel.
I was gonna say is, but I'm loving the fact that Marvel is starting to come out with, and I know it's not officially Disney, it's either Sony or Warner Brothers, whatever. I love that they're going and making movies people want to see. Like, they finally made Deadpool. Everybody loved Deadpool. I like Deadpool. Lenny said that's more of my movie because, like, it's more of jokes and it's more of... But you still get the action.
Break that fourth wall, homie.
Dude, I loved it. I loved and I'm excited to see the new one. But
I'm excited about Domino for the new one, to be honest. I am super stoked about it.
I'm more excited about X-Force than Deadpool.
Yeah,
I'm more excited
too.
to see Josh Brolin be another villain in another Marvel movie, and I was just like, that's awesome. That two movies in a year.
Good choice for Cable.
Yeah, he was a good choice.
Good choice.
I also wanted to see what Kevin Nash would have done, but he's still
he can blow out his quads. No,
yeah. But
Deadpool, come here, damn it.
Tom Hardy coming out with Venom. We're all on different pages on it. I'm excited for it. I would like to see what they accomplish with that. But then again, like I'm saying, like, they're not touching Spider-Man with Venom. He's just
it's in the same universe.
It's in the same universe, but it's a solo film. Like, and I like how they're starting to do that. Where whether it's DC, I'm not DC. Sorry, if it's Marvel with Sony or Warner Brothers or Disney. It's just basically it's like they're trying to make something out of it, and they want to try to make the fans keep going to the theaters and seeing something different. Like
Dark Phoenix.
Like I have to be honest, I was never really behind the Ant-Man thing. When we saw Ant-Man 1 in theaters, I was like, oh, that was really good. But when Ant-Man and the Wasp got announced, I was just like, it didn't really get me too excited to see it. But, you know, I'm still going to go see it no matter what because you want to see what's going to happen, how it's going to connect.
Right.
And I have a theory about Ant-Man. I don't know if we talked about it.
Well,
and at the end of the movie, he slowly disappears. He's like, what the fuck?
No, it takes place before.
No,
we already know. It takes place before.
Infinity War. But what if it takes place during?
That's what
At the end of the movie, you start seeing people fade away. Yeah. Because that...
at least for, like, a cutscene in the...
Or like, post-credit scene.
More...
Because
I also said that because Lenny was pissed off that Adam wasn't in this movie. I was saying that I believe they're gonna tease him in Ant-Man.
So because they would have teased, they would have teased him in Avengers. They would. They won't tease him in Ant-Man. Well, they teased Captain Marvel. You can't have Captain Marvel and Adam Warlock.
They already teased him already, and you know
so he's gonna show up in Guardians.
He's gonna be in the third Guardians.
Yeah, because he was.
When Guardians was to come
out? 2020.
Oh,
so the only other Marvel movie we have this year is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then we start with Captain Marvel in 2019.
We have Dark Phoenix, Sony.
Oh, okay.
crossover,
I'm the same MCU. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah. So then it'll be
Captain Marvel, Avengers 4, and then Spider-Man: Homecoming 2. Those are the 3 MCU movies.
Is there a villain announced for number 2? Do you know of?
I do not.
I would assume it's Scorpion because that's who we saw at the end of the first one.
Yeah, we saw Scorpion. And by the way, let's go to Homecoming real fast. I know he was very, very low key, but I was like, yo, Shocker's in this movie. Like, you got that little brief. I love that they do the 1 and 2 villains.
Sweatshirt,
yeah, and then you got it later when you got the thing. I was like, yo, that's awesome.
I know people love Donald Glover and stuff like that. I love the fact that he was in a Spider-Man movie after all that talk of him playing Spider-Man.
And he was playing Prowler.
Yes. Yeah. And then everybody's like, what does Prowler look like? I'm like, it's basically kind of looks like Deadpool, except it's in a gray suit. And I was just like, if they continue on with that story of him actually being Prowler, if Donald Glover plays that character, that's going to be awesome to see him in a suit and everything. But I don't think
isn't his nephew
Miles Morales?
Yeah.
So that's a cool little add-on Easter egg too. But before we get out of here, I want to switch over to DC real quick.
All right.
Just kind of like a rapid fire. We'll say favorite movie and favorite actor in the DC DCU.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you know what you're gonna say?
No. All right, you go first, buddy.
Favorite movie, Wonder Woman. What?
You could still
vote for it.
Yeah, it's not mutually exclusive.
There's only 5 to choose from.
Sure.
Are we talking about DC altogether, or are we talking about current DC?
DCEU.
So
the movie, Batfleck and Suicide Squad.
Everything after the Nolan.
All right, everything after Nolan.
So
right,
Man of Steel all the way.
I'm thinking original Keaton Batman. I'm like, oh shit, no. All right, so
Batman and Robin nipple Batman.
Wonder Woman.
Love those bat nipples.
Favorite character? I don't know. Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
Agreed. I agree with both of those. Both of
We're
yours.
just right here. We're just right here.
Isaiah.
Let's see. All right, Kyle. Albert Platt.
Putting you out there.
Yeah. social security number. Let's see.
055.
I'll go favorite character first. I'm underrated. I don't care. Captain Boomerang. I loved it. Because it was just like I liked him comic wise. I like him in anything I see animated wise, and he was well depicted. I want to see more. Like when Suicide Squad 2, I want to see more of that. I want to see some more fun stuff like that. Just to enlighten people on unknown, very low key characters like that. Favorite movie out of them all so far, all 5. I'll go with JLA, and I'll tell you why. JLA, out of all of them, had the best.
Justice League, not Justice League.
Well, it's still the same thing, Mr. Man. They live in America. They're the Justice League. Okay, they are.
Red Sun series.
It was the first one that I felt they got the pacing right. Because every other movie felt so rushed. It was like movie dialogue, little action, big fight that only lasts 10 minutes, to a lot of hype for nothing. This one had Steppenwolf throughout the whole movie, consistently making it harder and harder to stop him every single time. And then the final battle was a good payoff. It was well built. And structurally looking at it at just a movie standpoint, not considering it's a superhero movie, just from a movie standpoint, it made sense. It made sense on the pacing, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. And then everyone else, I know you didn't like the Flash being comic relief
I was
as
okay
much
with
as he was.
the Flash being comic relief. I just didn't want.
But at least
like,
with this,
everybody.
But he was the only real one. You know what I'm saying?
I
Aquaman had his little things in here, but like he was the only real.
The only comic relief that Aquaman really had was when he was sitting on the lasso, and I thought that was great.
You know what I didn't like though? I didn't like how bro he was. You know what I mean? Like
Samoan,
no, not like that. It's just like the
frat boyish.
Yeah, like, oh my man, yeah, here we go, woo. Like he was so like party. Yeah, he's like a party boy. I didn't like that. Like that was the only thing. Like I really like Aquaman. Arthur Curry's freaking dope, and like you kind of like dumbed him down, and I didn't like that. That was like the only like real critique I had of the movie.
I think this Aquaman that we're getting isn't the one that wants to be king. Because you see him that he goes to Atlantis and he seems very distant,
right?
Even from Mira, like he seems distant. So I don't think he wants to be that regal character that we know.
Kind of like Thor in the universe, where he was like he wanted it, but he really didn't care for it, and it's just like. But the thing is, like Aquaman, he's just like bratty about it, like, but he's cool with being bratty about it, which I don't really like. It's just like
And I see that as room for character development.
I'm just ecstatic about the movie because Black Manta, my homeboy. Right? Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Black Manta and Ocean Master.
Yeah. Well,
Done deal.
I just hope they don't do what they did with Black Panther and just kill off 2 prominent villains in that series.
Well, no, I think in DC they haven't really done that yet. Like they destroyed Steppenwolf. That was about it. But like,
no, I know.
And
Zod.
Oh yeah,
that. You already know.
Get me started.
You already know my hatred for Superman.
Yeah.
And that just escalated it more. That he just snapped his neck. He knew he could the whole time. He just he could have not did that, but he chose to do that, and that was just. Oh my God! Like that just.
Also, real quick before did we get to yours? No.
And we didn't get to Liz.
All right.
I mean, same. That's all.
Same to
money.
Okay.
Before we get to you, I do want to say that I enjoy what DC is doing. Not on the whole, but as
the butthole.
What with Batfleck?
With Marvel Avengers, they went straight into outer space. And with Justice League, we saw them do the space characters, and we were expecting Darkseid to show up, or at least be mentioned. And he was mentioned once, but we didn't see him.
He was mentioned, and he sent
Lantern.
He sent the things.
Yes, we did see the.
Oh, that was dope. That was the best part of that whole movie was that battle scene where you got to see.
Yeah, the lantern.
You got to see the lantern, the gods. You got to see Zeus, and like, oh man, it was great.
And you see that ring go fly.
But that post-credit scene where we see Deathstroke show up on Lex Luthor's boat, and then they're starting the Injustice League.
That's supposed. See, there's a thing where that's supposed to be starting the Batman movie, but I'm not sure because Deathstroke is supposed to be the head bad guy.
Whatever movie it's starting, they're starting the Injustice League, and I want to see the difference between Marvel doing the outer space thing, and then DC doing like the homegrown villains type thing. I'm really looking forward to that contrast between companies.
That's what I love about DC.
Did you
It's
say your favorite movie, by the way?
yeah, JLA.
Justice League.
Justice League. All right, sorry.
Justice League.
So, I'm going to start off with my favorite movie because I know my favorite character is going to get shit. Out of the current DC, I really, really enjoyed Suicide Squad. And it's not based off of Jared Leto's Joker. I'm saying I enjoyed it for the fact of you got to see, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. You got to see characters that haven't been touched, really. And you got to see them work together, and you got to see them like... And my big thing is I'm a big fan of color. And I enjoyed, the old Bat... Thank you.
As he wears a black shirt.
Yes, every day. But it has color on it. I really do love color, and I love seeing that scenery and stuff like that. So I enjoyed the old Batman movies. Even though George Clooney wasn't the best, neither was Val Kilmer. I loved the scenery. Like I loved just the colors all over the place.
The Joel Schumacher flamboyant color
yeah,
everywhere.
I really enjoyed that. And
you're gonna love Adam West.
Oh boy. But what I was going to say is I really enjoyed seeing that movie and where like they took different colors. Like when they're in the prison, it's all bland colors like browns, like this off beige like color for the jumpsuits. And then when they're in the city, it's all bright colors and all that stuff. And it was
in the dark.
Also, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was black, but you saw all these bright colors.
Yeah, it's supposed to purvey the tone of what you're supposed to be feeling.
I loved that every different scene had a different color. Like when they're in meetings with Bruce Wayne and the office lady. I'm trying to remember what her name is. The lady who starts
Amanda Wild.
So when they meet together, it's like visions of green. Like they're all just like you felt like you're in a different world each scene, and I loved that movie. Jared Leto, I believe if they would have gave him a little bit more of a story with it, then he would have been more enjoyable. But
I like they didn't overtone it with him.
Yes,
like they weren't banking on him being the sell ticket of the movie. They relied on.
They were definitely doing it in the trailers, though.
No, they're just getting people to get the niche off of it.
Yeah.
The Harley was the only one who was
the forefront.
Yeah, and then Deadshot too. Like them two were because they were the highest paid out of the two.
I will say though,
I get
Will Smith
that.
saying it's time to save the world. I'm like, what movie don't you say that in?
Let me tell you this though.
No,
besides,
I love
my
Will Smith
favorite
one,
Captain Boomerang, dude. I was so stoked to see a live action non CGI Killer Croc. I thought that was dope.
That was really cool.
That was so impressive. That was so cool.
The prosthetics.
They deserve the Oscar.
Waylon Jones, well perceived.
Right,
not screenplay though.
So my favorite character, I'm going to get a lot of shit for it. I don't care. I enjoy Ben Affleck as Batman. But let me tell you why. Okay? When we first see him in Batman vs. Superman, right? Everybody was like, Batman vs. Superman sucked. Why? I didn't like how some of the scenes didn't make sense. It feels like the story was cut short. Superman fucking ruins the movie. You didn't hear one fucking thing about Batman at all. I didn't hear one single negative thing about Batman.
Then you weren't listening.
I was listening perfectly
You were not
fine.
listening.
I enjoyed.
They hated the voice. They hated the voice choice over his new suit.
I think he's a better Bruce Wayne than Batman.
Yes.
Although his Batman is good,
his
Bruce Wayne is by far the best we've seen.
What I will say is, even though we got to experience it for only just a couple minutes, that fight scene where he breaks into that factory to save Martha.
Or where Alfred's telling him what to do and him not being a detective at all.
But still, nonetheless, let me just say, But again, I also enjoyed the teamwork. Also, I enjoyed him and Alfred working together because that's how it actually was.
No, it's
not
not.
In the comics, they work together.
They work together.
Yeah.
Alfred builds the tech, and Batman is the detective.
Yeah.
Right.
Alfred builds the tech and is the detective, and Bruce Wayne's the muscle. That's all. That's what it
But
is.
like
what
a
I will
henchman.
say is, though, I enjoyed that fight scene way too much.
Way too much. Exactly. You
Well,
do
let me-
way
let me
too
tell-
much.
Let me tell you this though, I do not enjoy that we have stiff-necked Batman back though, because
I do.
I don't, because like in the whole Christian Bale thing, like you got to see like them actually work on it, so you could actually see him turn his neck, because that makes more sense to me. If you're fighting someone and you currently like this, I don't like that. I don't know if we got to see more of that changed in Justice League. I forgot.
I like the connected cowl headpiece.
But-
I really enjoy the way that looks.
But what I'm gonna say is though, I I feel like he hasn't had his movie yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's like, oh, well, you know, Affleck this, Affleck that. I'm just like, let's just see one solo movie. Like, I want to just see what he can do all together. Like, you know, people are saying, oh, he's going to be replaced before that happens. I'm like, until it's officially set in stone where he's being replaced, I am still looking forward to seeing the Ben Affleck
I think
Batman
the
movie.
only way they can replace him now and it makes sense without changing anything else, is the Flashpoint movie.
Yeah.
The Flashpoint movie, you go to Earth 2, you have Thomas Wayne, then do something that changes the timeline. You come back, totally different Batman. It's justified. You don't need to kill anybody off, and it works.
But what I'm going to say is, though, I really feel like once he has that solo movie, it will either make it or break it. You know, I really feel like if
but he's already had 3 opportunities to make it or break
it. But it's not about him. Like, you're trying to focus on everybody else.
You have to have an understanding.
It's like really, it's really like Mark Ruffalo right now. Everybody's like, he's amazing, and I'm just like, but you haven't seen what he can fully do. Like, he had his chance in, like, you know, Thor.
And
because you can't.
You're not going to see that.
But Universal has the movie rights,
I know,
so if they make a Hulk movie, Universal has to make it. And if Universal makes it, it won't be Mark Ruffalo.
Right.
When you sprinkle some money on Disney, you know, it's all good. Just
Universal, when they're like the biggest like competitor of Disney, they're not going to shell out something they have. They're like, no, this is mine. Even if they never use it, they're like, that's still mine.
Yeah.
I will keep it so that you can't have it.
Exactly. It's a spite.
All I will say, though, is like that's why I'm picking Ben Affleck. I really am looking forward to see what he can accomplish in the future. Hopefully, we'll get to see that solo movie. If not, then, you know, good luck to the next person. Just like how, you know, Adam West was first, you know, Michael
He wasn't
Keaton was
first.
I know he wasn't first, but I'm saying, like, in pop culture, like, you know, people saying, like, that's my Batman. Like, you know, like in the black and whites movies, like
the talkies,
the
speakies.
The talkies.
I'll give you this. I will give you this. Ben Affleck as Batman alone does not work. Does not work. I'll say that. But in Justice League, with him, with other people, and him being where he needs to be, it works better in that setting. Like, everyone else in the MCU can have a solo movie and it be good, and then team up together and still be good. DC is better as a team base because it works. The dynamic is better that way. Where the only person that so far that we've seen that has broken out of that and done well is Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But
That's
But-
primarily because the writing and the staff
Exactly.
behind the movie, knowing how to pace a movie, how to write dialogue, making sure every character on screen has chemistry with each other,
Right.
and just making the movie feel like one continuous piece of work instead of perfect example. First half hour of Justice League, where, all right, you get Wonder Woman scene where it's all bright. It's in the daytime.
Yep.
But
Batman was all dark.
it felt like the cinematography was different for that Wonder Woman scene than when Batman
He's on the rooftop.
meets Aquaman and that introduction scene.
Right.
And that
'cause of
cinematography
the,
felt different from the Flash being introduced.
Right.
It didn't feel like one continuous piece.
Right.
And I do understand that there were 2 directors working on both movies, on the same movie, and
A lot of
you
stuff
get that,
is
you get that
they couldn't help
stylistic,
that either.
you get
Right.
that stylistic difference, and I get that.
But they were trying to set the tone for the environment like they did in Suicide Squad, where one person is brighter, one person is darker, one person is just like monotone. That way it can kind of like, all right, you're at the Flash scene. All right, you're at the Wonder Woman scene.
Also, another thing with DC, and I'm sure you guys have seen the meme going around about how DC has the darker films, and people are like, oh, Marvel has Death too, and then, but yeah, I can't literally see anything in DC movies. They're just really dark, and I would just like the brightness turned up a little bit. Like,
Just TV.
Have the dark storylines, but you don't have to make the movie itself dark.
Well, look at like it's how you do it. Like look at Christopher Nolan. It needed to be dark when it needed to be dark.
Yeah,
it needed to be
exactly.
bright when it needed to be bright.
But also, Christopher Nolan is that level of filmmaker.
Don't be talking shit about our movies.
No, like, Christopher Nolan is probably one of my favorite directors, and I'm not saying that because of the Batman series. I'm saying that because of Inception, Interstellar,
Inception, and
The
Inception.
Prestige. I believe he did Memento as well, right? if you ever get the chance to watch any of those four
Those are good
movies,
mints.
check him out, because like he really is a great director, and he knows when to put certain aspects into certain parts. And I feel like the cinematography, like in recent DC movies, is just like, all right, dark storyline, dark movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
With you though, it's just
Squad was like, it was dark, but like I said, you had like those splashes of light. Like, you know, I think it really depends on directors and like how they're, because everybody's trying to do what the predecessors have done.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, but the thing with DC was that they're like, all right, this is what Marvel's doing. Let's try to do something different, and they're finding they're still working out their kinks. Like if you go back to the first installments of the MCU, not all those movies are like as great as, you know, like if they're like the Incredible Hulk. It's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so that's one of the. It's all a learning curve,
Also,
and I feel like they're getting their point. DC.
I want to give praise where it's due. The character introductions in Suicide Squad.
Oh, great.
The logo, character, and then their
Stat ability,
sheet.
yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Like with the neon backlighting it, I thought it was very well done.
And it's different. It's a different.
it
It's
was
different
different.
from the typical.
And then I didn't go to the theater, but I downloaded the new Transformers movie, the newest one. And they did that. They stole that title card sequence for the Decepticons, and I'm like, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. No.
It didn't work for Transformers, but it worked for Suicide Squad, and I got to give them praise for that, because it was amazing.
I wish they did with everybody though.
It really is.
That's another thing I wish.
Everybody sees a movie, and they try to copy it.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Knight series alone, a lot of people were just like, well, what's gonna be the next Dark Knight? And a lot of people were saying Logan was the next Dark Knight movie, and I was just like,
you can't have another Dark Knight movie.
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. I'm just like, you can't say like that's the next Dark Knight, like, because it's something completely different. It's a different person's perspective, like you know, and it's just even on other things, like smaller things like makeup, like you were saying, Drax looks a little bit darker and grayer in this one than he did in the first one. Different makeup people, different things.
Yeah,
like
even Thanos, like from that dark purple at the end of Avengers, and to that light purple now, like he looks pretty much how he does in the comic books, even down to the armor. Like in the comic books, he has like these things over his eyes that go up, and it looks like eyebrows, and it's not quite as prominent in the MCU armor, but they're there. And like just the nods between the comic book and the MCU armor, how they both look, I think that team did a very good job.
Yeah.
And we talk about teams. Let's talk about the band. You guys are a team. Let's come full circle. We're about an hour and a half into our pod, so I want to kind of wrap up, but I want one more time for you guys to plug, you know, all your social media stuff, your Facebook, plug the show. Feel free.
Well, if you guys are trying to follow us on Twitter, we're under at sweet_Babylon. And if you're trying to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at sweet_Babylon_music. We try to post on the regular on our Instagram. You'll be seeing, you know, videos of us. Lenny also does Meme Mondays over there. So they're memes based on us, which can be funny or it can hurt our feelings. It doesn't matter. It's for your entertainment.
Oh, wait, I can hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
You already have. No, but
I have.
No, shut up. All right, don't worry about it. But what I was going to say is we post a lot on there. So you know, if you guys are trying to stick around with us and, you know, follow us, you can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/sweetbabylon. And if you're trying to find our music, we're on all the outlets. We're on iTunes, Google Music. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Shazam. You could Shazam our ass.
We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on everything.
Probably Pandora.
If you want to give us money directly, you should go to sweetbabylon.bandcamp.com. Buy our albums there. That goes directly to us.
Or if you're cool, you can come to a show and get a physical thing, like an actual piece of us.
What show is? Let's plug the show again.
All right.
So we have our.
We have a first show that is coming up.
We have a show this month, May. We have it May 24th at the News Cafe
In Pawtucket.
in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It's going to be a fun show. And then next month is our big show. This is what we really want you guys to come to, is our album release party. It's for our album New Beginnings. We're really proud of our work. We want you guys to hear our new music.
Our work, along with Paul Giammarco and Josh Kane, all their work. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes. So once again, Paul Giammarco, you are a god in our eyes. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Josh Kane, you are the most amazing man on horns, period.
And depending on when this airs, congratulations, Paul, on being a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that show's going to be June 30th. It's going to be at the FET. It's in Providence, Rhode Island, and we're very excited to have our buddies in the Sky Seekers and Shore City open up for us. And it's going to be a big party. We want you guys to come here.
So big that we're actually going to we're gonna do this. We'll do it here officially now, since we have a good friend having on the podcast. We are going to be live filming this show so we can maybe release it later on a DVD.
Possibly.
It's like a live show, so it's going to be come be famous forever.
And make sure to buy some merch there. We're going to have some new stuff for you. We're not going to tell you what it is, but we're going to have some new stuff.
Limited edition.
And if you've never heard of us before, it's all new. So come and see us live. Booyah. I don't know.
I don't know how to end that.
You can't go out with booyah. But I want to just thank Sweet Babylon and Liv for being on the show. You guys can check. I'll have, if you guys are listening to this on any of your podcast listening devices, check the show notes. I'm going to have all the links there for you as well. Check out their Facebook page. Check out Free Your Geek on Facebook as well. I'll have the information there. And we'll have to do this again. Maybe we'll do a post show after your album release party.
That's cool, man.
And we'll just see. We'll follow up with some more thoughts, maybe on Ant-Man and Wasp or whatever else is coming down. But
maybe pre Ant-Man and Wasp, because I have some ideas about the movie.
Okay, perfect.
Well, we'll see what happens. And also, Sweet Babylon would love to give you a big thank you, because you gave us T-shirts. They're absolutely amazing. They have our names on it. We're very excited and we're very thankful.
We'll do a photo shoot with that, and you're very welcome. I think it's going to be fun. Again, we're going to be going out normal. Rather than our outro, we'll go out to another song by Sweet Babylon, so you guys can hear what these guys are all about. Come check out their show. Again, check out their Facebook page. Check out their Instagram, their Twitter. All that information is going to be there. Check out Free Your Geek. We'll have all that information. Until next time, folks, let's Free Your Geek.
Every single time when a person performs, there's an asshole in every shape or form, yelling to sing a song that they've never heard. And the name of that song is called Freebird. 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 I'm talking about that Freebird. I can make up random words, I'm gonna play some random chords, but you wouldn't know the difference because you're drunk and bored. I could sing a pitch and I could sing this so wrong, but as long as I say Freebird, you think it's the right song. Freebird. Freebird. I'm talking about that Freebird.
Oh, sorry guys, I didn't mean to interrupt your recording here. Sounds great, by the way. I'm here to talk to you guys about Miranda rights, and so if you got...